is getting himself set up pretty nicely here. Getting the army situated again. A nice little Hellion run by does distract some of the army, pulls it away from where they were before. But now the Ultras, their upgrades are starting to finish. They're looking to be pretty scary here. The Zerg army did manage to catch Beastie QT here. And a lot of these Liberators do actually get focused down. A lot of tanks fall as well. And now all of a sudden, Jon Snow probably feeling pretty good here. Had a very nice engagement. Beastie QT lost quite a bit of his army. However, he is still producing behind this. He's making more Liberators, more tanks, more Hellions. But we still have many more Ultras coming out. Got a command center floating across the map, probably going to the gold base. And Jon Snow now streaming back across the map is going to catch a lot of these Hellions. A lot of them get surrounded, only 2 survive, however, not for long as they are on creep with a Zerg army chasing right behind them. However, one nice thing that these Hellions are doing is that they are actually bringing Jon Snow home. And I think that's what Beastie QT wants at this moment. He wants that chance to rebuild his army. He wants to distract the Zerg player for as long as possible here. However, Jon Snow is getting a pretty scary looking army out. He is getting Vipers. He is now making his Greater Spire. But Jon Snow, his army's supply is starting to really favor over his opponents. 108 to 77. If our Zerg player moves out soon, it could spell disaster. 3 more Ultras, though, on the way. More upgrades for Jon Snow as well. Melee attacks, as well as missile attacks. However, Beastie QT doing a pretty good job of making sure he is in a good position, just trying to build his army up as fast as possible. More Corruptors, though, popping out for Jon Snow. We will no doubt see those form into Broodlords when that Greater Spire is finished. Oh, and these Corruptors, I think they are actually, are they going to? No, they will miss the gold base. Never mind, I thought they were going to fly right around it. They do miss the gold base. For now, our Terran player's secret is safe. Liberator, though, trying to get into position just to do some more harass, but the Corruptors do a pretty good job in taking it out. Jon Snow, at this point, I think he's just waiting to get an even better army out. However, Beastie QT moving again across the map, moving to that little pocket that overlooks the 4th. This is actually a pretty good spot for our Terran player to get set up, as he has pretty nice high ground vision and can really do some damage to the 4th base as well. However, there are Vipers here. They can help to abduct some of the tanks, and now Broodlords are morphing in as well. This is a pretty scary army for a Terran player to be against. The Broodlords now, they go over to get into position to do some damage there to that army and probably force it back. Yeah, Beastie QT decides he does definitely not want to be around there. And now Jon Snow moving in to try and take it out, to corner it. And Jon Snow doing pretty well in this engagement. A lot of tanks starting to fall here. Wants to be very careful, wants to make sure he doesn't lose too much here fighting this. And now Jon Snow comes ahead in another engagement there and decides now to move across the map. We'll be taking out some more of the base. This looks like this is the 6th base here for Beastie QT, and it will go down shortly. Small little Hellion run by also goes to the 5th of Jon Snow, but might kill a few drones. But that's probably not the biggest concern right now for Jon Snow. I think Jon Snow is really looking to end this game soon. A scan reveals this pretty terrifying army here. Ultras, Broodlords, this is not something I would want to be against. It's a pretty scary looking army, as I have mentioned many times before. More Zerglings being produced. We still have more Thors, more Hellions, more tanks coming out for Beastie QT, but a lot of damage being done here. A lot of Vikings here also to help take down those Broodlords. but there are Corruptors to help take down the Vikings as well. Vikings do a pretty good job here. Also Vipers as well to just take down any anti-air possible. The Ravagers, they move forward. Nice hits with the Bile there. Thors start to fall. We've got some Ghosts, and those can do pretty well versus Ultras as well. However, there's just a lot here. Broodlord's really picking away here at the rest of the army. Ghosts start to fall as well. Ghosts doing a pretty good job, though. Expensive units, but they are definitely worth it here in this position. And now Jon Snow, he is losing quite a bit of army. The supplies are 89 to 98. So BCQT ahead in supply, but the economy I still think favors Jon Snow. Although BCQT does have the gold base, a lot of damage being done, and now Corruptors taking down that command center, and Jon Snow does take game 1.
Awesome. Jon Snow takes game 1. Maybe my sound is working. I
can hear you. I think it's looking good. Sounding good.
I think it's looking good. My internet all day has been in and out, so we have one last try to see if it will work, and hopefully it will. But with Jon Snow taking game 1, that still means a possibility of 2 more games. Of course, we have Jon Snow versus BeastQT. You said Jon Snow game 1, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Welcome back, DrennoC. It's always scary to solo cast.
Solo casting is one of those times where it's, for me, myself, I've done it so often that it doesn't bother me. Like, I think I'm more comfortable solo casting than casting with other people, because I can fully articulate and actually, like, finish the thoughts really well. Like, this is what's happening, etc., etc. But game 2, instead of having a big map, we're going to have a small one, all arena, for BeastQT v Jon Snow. And I was favoring BeastQT, but evidently Jon Snow is going well, fighting well.
It was hard to see where that was going for quite a long time. There were so many back and forths in that game.
There definitely was. I'll run it as a game 2. There can be a lot of back and forths, but it is much easier to accidentally take a severe misstep and lose the game, because of the nature of the small map, you can't quite reinforce and defend as quickly. Or in theory, you can defend technically as quickly, but your opponent's offensive force is there just as quickly as you can rush to the defense. But
here we go, the loading into game 2. Curious to see what strategies they use on this map, as